5 years ago that are gone. In a couple of weeks, you're going to see buildings that are huge that are a blight on the corners of Elderwood and Chapman and Page. They're going to be gone too. So for people, and the city, by the way, council, the city just got awarded $2 million to demolish vacant and abandoned houses. If you've got some houses on your street, let us know right now. Let us know which ones are the worst. You know, the 800 to 1,000 that we've torn down, maybe we tore down the wrong ones. Give us the ones that you think we need to take a look at.
What about the one on the corner of Man and Hayden?
I'm not going to, you know what? We will try that. Belinda, if you don't mind, the corner of Man and Hayden. We'll try and get to that one.
Okay.
Each one is a different story. Each house is a different story. But we try to get to them one by one. We got to 800 of them. If you think the problem with vacant and abandoned housing is bad, imagine if we hadn't torn down the 800 that we just tore down. Mm-hmm. Imagine that. You know, and this is not a campaign speech, but I became mayor in 2010. Prior to 2010, we hadn't hardly torn down anything. And since 2010, we've torn down about 800. Imagine how bad the problem would be if we hadn't torn down that 800. I became mayor in 2010. Prior to that, nothing had been built. Nothing had been built in East Cleveland for 10, 15 years prior to that. But we've got $6 million community center being built, almost finished at the intersection of Shaw and Hayden. We've got the vacant and abandoned buildings that were littering that area, pretty much gone. We've got Circle East Apartments that was built. We've got Mildred Brewer Place that was built. We've got some new houses being built. No stuff was built prior to 2010. No stuff was torn down prior to 2010. So while we have to do some things to control the people in our community who just insist on breaking the law, whether it's shooting somebody and dumping, we do what we can. And what we can is when we get a chance to get some money to do some necessary demolitions, we get $2 million at a time. When we're accused of not resurfacing streets, we resurface the only 3 that we can. And as for the school, the speeding or wrong way on at the near Superior School, Garfield. The school district hires private security. It would be my advice to have some of that private security hang out at that corner. If you put a police car there, a Securitas, a security vehicle there, on school property, near where people are going the wrong way, I would think that if they see a uniformed security officer and a squad car, they might not speed. The city, we put crossing guards there, we put police patrols there, we put automated traffic tickets there, we put all sorts of things there. School district can do something to put an officer there, and as a school board member, please try and make that happen. Thank you, Council.
Thank you. Councilman Martin.
Yes. Members of the public, my colleagues, I rise to speak. Walter Melton touched on it. And Tiffany brought something up this past Saturday at McDonald's at 80 Road. It was a good turnout, coffee with cops. The cops spoke, they took a lot of questions. But there was a minister there named Clifford Burns. And he basically echoed what Melton said. Let's be practical here. I want to try to be positive. The police can't cover it all, never will. If we hired 100 of them, they can't cover it all. What came out of that discussion, and the mayor was there too, was citizens stepping up to do their part. Not to get hurt, not to get killed, but one-on-one, you got to get the plates. If the drug dealers, if people are coming in selling drugs, somebody buying them get the plates, somebody selling them get the plates, get them up here to the administration. And if there's a record of that, maybe there's something we can do about it. We have a lot of issues. We talk about paving the streets, and we've talked about that for a while, all of us since we've been up here. It's getting ready to get cooler. The streets need striping. That costs money. My concern, and I don't want to point the finger, but this is what I think really needs to be done, besides the citizens doing their part. Every morning, when I get up, I'm picking up paper and stuff at Stanwood and Euclid. It's a regular. Our people just throw garbage out there. It ain't them as us. That's where that pride thing comes in. We have to be hopeful and we have to do our part. I don't want anyone to lose their lives, but be smart. If you see a drug deal or you see a car coming down, especially if it's ain't one of us, you know what's going on, get the plate. Call up here and let them take care of it. I know our diminishing numbers with our diminishing tax base, which has been a major issue in East Cleveland over the last 20-some years. We've got to do our part. We have to do our part. Another thing is, we talked about working together. Years ago, I stayed on 102nd Street many years ago, and we had a drug problem on the street. So I went door to door, knocked on about 30, 40 doors. Told the people here, we gotta do something. I had about 100 people in my house. Okay. Had the councilman come, it was Bill Patman at the time, and the police person in that area. The drugs were taken care of in 2 weeks. But it wasn't just me, it was the numbers that they saw on people and that we were serious. We didn't solve it. It went down and went 2 or 3 streets over, but it was off the street that we were staying on. So it just shows you how important it is that you got to be involved and engaged. Another thing, I think we need to have an economic development plan. I'm talking about a comprehensive plan to get the revenue in the city. Brandon, Joey, Wheeler, I'm talking about a plan over a 5 or 10 year period, a short-term plan, a long-term plan, where we got businesses coming in here. We hear all, people were saying at the coffee with the cop thing that this is a gym. You can get on the Rapid right across here at Windermere, and at Superior, go anywhere in the world. We got the health line. We got McGregor. We do have assets. So we need a plan, and this is what I'm hoping for. I'm not pointing the finger at anyone. An economic development to increase our tax base. That's what's killing us. Okay? Then we can hire 10 or 50 more police, and we can do that. But those are the things that have to take place. I found out, and I knew this, Saturday, that half the people on some of the streets don't even talk to each other no more. Okay? You got to have street clubs. Norton and them have tried to do that. You've got to have street clubs. You got Marilyn Sharpley. She came up here a year or two ago. She was persistent and got the street paved, got the sidewalks done and all that. And I ride past her house on a regular basis. It's beautiful. Okay? But that was her and her people on her street coming out to do something. If we can get that on most of our streets, Belinda Kyle, we can make a difference. We can make a difference. So it ain't pointing the finger at the mayor or the council. We have a responsibility to do what we need to do. We live here. They were